Hey, how's it going? Pardon me. Whoops. So, wow, I don't usually do stuff like right in the morning. I don't know why this keeps happening, but okay. First, take a look. Whoa, look at my signs, please. I know you just got here, kitty. Your timing is shitty. I'm not going to stop for you because you don't want to eat the food that I give you. But hi, Puffer came back. Puffer came back. Yes, Puffer came back. Puffer came back. Sorry, Puffer came back and Puffer came back. Okay? Puffer came back. Okay, go eat some crunches. Puffer came back. Puffer came back. Okay, there he goes. Anyway, I sat down last night and fell asleep. Don't sit down if you ate spaghetti and you plan to do something else. I pulled cards from Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck, Miracle of Cosmic deck, gosh, Messages of Cosmic Death. This. I don't know why, I just start changing it, and then I pulled some from the Angel Numbers deck, which is, hold on, this one. And the funny thing about it was that I was shuffling them, and just like immediately, it wasn't even a good shuffle just to start with. And a card popped out, and I was like, well, let me shuffle some more, and if it needs to come out, it'll come out. And it popped up its head a couple more times, but it didn't pop all the way out. And then something flew out, and I picked it up, and what do you think it was? It was that card. So, not there yet, but I'll get there. I'll start with the animal card, which was a firefly. So when I pulled it, I thought, God, this is like kind of how I've been feeling. I'll have like a flare of energy or inspiration, and then I'll just be quiet because I'm just out of whatever it is that powers the flare. And it felt like it was in about reacting to the times that are happening right now, and just all of the kooky ways that we're acting out. So I'm gonna read what it says about the firefly. You can see from the icon there at the top, the triangle with the line through it, that it represents the air element. So, I mean, I'm talking about flaring up with energy and inspiration to speak up, and I feel like that coincides with the air element of thoughts and ideas, plans and action even. Hi, where though? There it is. As soon as I got to the section, it popped to that page. I love it when that happens. Okay, Firefly. Inspired and fantastic, yet fleeting. Fantastic is interesting. Telling stories, but not made up ones in this case, what I've been talking about. The story. Wow. Doesn't even have those letters. The firefly contains the light of 1,000 stars. It's pure, radiant, and illuminating. This high-frequency charge cannot be sustained for long. Therefore, the firefly card indicates a moment of inspiration or awakening that quickly fades if we don't catch it. So we have to acknowledge these sparks and flares of inspiration and even act on them so they don't go to waste, apparently. Because it's not happening for no reason to us. Like, every flare of inspiration is an opportunity to develop it and act upon it. There is firefly energy behind every poem, song, and invention. Our job is to be ready to harness this creative spirit when it graces our path. What can you do to support this precious and elusive light? What can you do? Well, I mean, you can catch the inspiration when it briefly appears and make the most of it. You know, I mean, that's up to us each individually to decide what we're going to do with any piece of information. If you know, it inspires a plan, then it's the kind of saying, do it now, go for it before time runs out. When in balance, writes, creates, brainstorms. When out of balance, burnt out, feels dull. I was feeling dull, but I'm not sure. It may have been some of that, sure, because it's been a lot. Everything that happens, we process, and whether we realize it or not, that's a little bit taxing on our various systems. You know, it depends on who we are. Some of us might get physically tired. Some of us might get intellectually tired. To bring it to balance, write a poem, draw. I'm not going to be doing this for that long, and you have food. It's not like it's going to be any better if I stop what I'm doing and give it to you. Oh, he doesn't have any. Hold on, just 1 second. Let me give him a scoop of crunchies. I didn't realize you were out. Wait, don't run away. You're not in trouble. I'm giving you the food. Come back. Oh, here he comes. Galloping. Look at the galloping. Okay. You didn't eat your chicken. Dude, come on. Okay, there you go. Now let me alone so I can do this. I really apologize for the out of frame situation, but kids, what are you gonna do? So, I'm thinking of this and thinking of recent incidents that have happened personally, like not to me, but are peripherally in my life, and then completely outside of me, like look to politics. Various little eruptions are flaring up, and you know, in some cases it's not the best thing. Like, it seems like every time JD Vance opens his mouth to say something, he gets inspired to say something, but it's not going over, it's not landing well, it just is not the right thing to say. Well, anyway, it makes me think of that. It makes me think of something I learned of yesterday that is completely out of control, out of character for the character involved, but it's like love, and it involves something that I don't think actually is love, but there's that perception, because I think there's definitely a dishonest element. So it might look like love, or you could say it's love, but you might not be sincere, and I think that's what is the issue with this situation. I don't want to go into it. It's not mine. It's, you know, private for those people. So beyond what I just said, I will just say that even if it's real love, there is a flare and a blush at first, and then it peters out, it dies down. What it develops into beyond that depends on the people involved. It could go further, it could become more fulsome and develop, or it could go down the turlet, which is like what I think is happening in this situation, because the flare of the perceived love is blinding an individual, and that is screwing up all kinds of systems. There are good flares. Also, yesterday there were some that I personally experienced that I was not. Kitty, you gotta stop. I wasn't expecting, I had a situation that it had become typical for saying one thing and doing another, and then it finally resolved into start to make sense. Kitty, fuck off, man. Seriously. Hold on, I have to leave a quick message here. Hi, I'll get back to you in a few minutes. I'm in the middle of recording. Bye. And that's why I don't usually do this at this time of day, because there's going to be too many interruptions. So, and then also, I was with the person that is involved in this other thing I was just a little bit talking about, and it's not a great situation for that person. However, while we were out and talking, it came out that there were actually things to be pleased about, to be happy about, that were not going in the toilet. So balance is always a good thing. And sometimes, Kitty, seriously, man, sometimes when you're in the middle of something, it's very hard to see like light at the end of the tunnel, or fucking hell, man. You know what he wants? He wants me to walk him to the fucking door. Where are you? Get out. Go out the way you came in. See, that's the thing that's irritating about it, is because there is a door. He did not come in the door. He came in the window. He could go out the window. I just chased him out to go back out the window. Just know, he does this all the time. Like, I don't know what more he wants from me. I'm not going to go into that now, though. I want to kind of stay where I was. So, in like all of the situations that I've just been talking about, you know, things could go bad, but what energy are you putting into the particular timeline you're thinking about? Do you want things to sink? If you don't, guess what? Your attitude matters and can actually have an effect on how the situation is going to work out. Positive affirmation, as opposed to negative, you know, like if you only see a negative future, then, you know, you could very well be like setting that up for yourself. We've all had instances of this. We all know what it looks like. It's just kind of weird, I guess, to apply it to outside of yourself situations and people. Maybe. Anyway, I'm going to move on to the Messages of Oracle deck. Is that what it is? Oh, it's right here. Yes. So the first one says, listen to your body and do what it's asking of you. For me, that's an easy one, because mine's always saying something, but I was watching a movie yesterday. It was Bone Tomahawk with Kurt Russell and Matthew Fox and more actors whose names you would know. But in there, one of the characters had a broken leg, but his wife had been abducted by Indians. That's what they called them in the movie, so I'm just going to go with that. But normally I would say indigenous. So anyway, the sheriff that was bringing this guy whose wife had been abducted with him had a broken leg, and he was healing from it. And he jumped up and was hobbling around on his little crutch and everything, and just going nuts because his wife had been abducted by Indians. So you could kind of understand why he was concerned. And he insisted on going with the sheriff to rescue her. and another person as well, a deputy. And they were advised by a person referred to as the professor, and it turned out to be an indigenous guy. He's an actor. He's in so many things, and of course, none of them are coming to mind right now. I will link his name. Where is something to write a note on? Write this down real quick before I forget. Link. Professor from Tomahawk. Well, I guess I'm not going to link anything. I'm just going to, excuse me, share what the name was. Tomahawk. That's not an H. Okay. So, in Bone Tomahawk, the sheriff is advised by the professor gentleman to not go to where he feels pretty sure the abducted were taken to, because they left behind an arrow, and he was able to recognize and go, oh, this is the cave dwellers, the troglodytes. They don't have a language. They're not Indians, although they are, like, I guess, related because they have lived in caves. They don't have language, and they're cannibals, and they're just, well, they're troglodytes. I don't know. Look it up. And so only the sheriff and the wife of this, or the man, the husband of the wife that got it abducted, went, and the sheriff told other people to stay behind because the professors really, really advised them not to go into troglodyte territory to try and see these hostages. And of course, the sheriff, being the white man, is like, oh, well, we're smarter. We have that advantage over them. And I loved how he said that he had just heard of these people for the first time, like however long the travel took before that. He never even was aware of their existence, and yet he was just assured that they had the advantage of smart over these troglodytes, and that never works out well. And in the beginning, you get to see just how dumb the troglodytes are not, which the sheriff also has no idea of, because it was before the abduction even happened. But the viewer got a little look-see. So, that is what's happening when the sheriff turns to the husband with the broken leg and says, you know, because he's hopping around, they're like getting water. They stop to like get water before they go into these badlands. And, you know, husband guy can't get off the horse alone, but he's too proud because the sheriff offers to help him. He's like, no, I can do it. And he's over there, like stuck on the horse, can't get down. So I guess a couple of other people did go with him, and one of them is a very arrogant, I don't know, what do you call like a professional gunfighter? A professional gunfighter, I guess. But a shootist, that was what I was thinking. Anyway, and he was very arrogant, and he joined them. So I assume he's going to get killed right away. I've seen it before, but I don't remember, so I need to go back. And I still haven't told you what the sheriff said to the broken leg guy. What he said was, listen to your body. Pain is its way of speaking to you, as in, sit the fuck down and relax. Guy with a broken leg, you're less useful here than you think. Sorry, didn't mean to get all, got all sucked into the story. Started having, you know, thinking like I had a stake in things. It's a movie. But what he said, the sentiment makes a lot of sense, because when you're still and your body's not paining you, then it's happy. When you start moving around and it hurts and it makes it difficult for you to move, that's its way of saying, sit the F down. You're not ready to be moving around. I still need to heal. And you know how you know? Because it hurts when you try to use the affected part. I think we can apply that to ourselves in life. And it may be that you have some injury that you don't want to respect and you want to just keep going, and your body is like, yeah, but it only looks like I'm better. I'm still healing. You got to listen, because next thing you know, stuff's coming unsewed and it's not good. Listen to your body. It is trying to tell you something. Do what it's asking you to do, and it may be sit the F down. Let people that are more able handle things, and you're angry. You ain't thinking straight. There's the illustration. I don't know. I got kind of sidetracked by my story, so the illustration is not doing much to further my message. I'm going to move on to the next card. Life can be hard and life can be wonderful. Which will you focus on? Was I not just talking about this? I pulled these yesterday. I did not look at them. I just shuffled and let them come out and put them down and went and ate the sleepy spaghetti. But seriously, which will you focus on? Which timeline do you want? It is a topical question right now, because now you can hear Kamala Harris saying it publicly, and I said it last week, maybe here in front of my camera. I say stuff a lot, and from this side of the camera, I never stop talking. But I was saying, as far as, this was when Biden was gonna run, or try to run next for, try to have a second, not semester, geez, what am I saying? Run for re-election. This was before he decided not to. And I was saying, I don't think it's a good idea to try to change right now, because I don't think we can all agree on anything. And I said that because, to me, the choice is simple. Don't vote for Trump. Not what a lot of people say, I'll vote for anybody but Trump, because I think that's dumb. You don't want to just vote anybody. You do want to put some thought into the process. But what happened ended up happening. And people did coalesce around Kamala. So, I mean, that's good. We're not going to have Trump. And she, like Biden, she was never a choice of mine. But sure, she'll work. She's not there are worse people we could put in there, in my opinion. So, cool, whatever. Let's do that. But my thing is when the choice was between just Biden and Trump, and they're both obviously older men, deteriorating in their senses somewhat, and that makes people nervous about emergency situations. And the thing about that is I've talked about this on here before. I've talked about it on my online platforms. There have been many times when the president has been insensible, near death, comatose, and it's always been either a strong, opinionated wife, in the case of Roosevelt. That's one of the ones I can just think of off the top of my head. But I also know that there's at least two others where he was either the spouse and or the cabinet running the country. So the president is the figurehead, is the face, but they can't obviously do every task they have in administration. So my question at the time was, what kind of administration do you want running the country? Do you want Trump's people that, I don't need to describe it, go online. It's all over. You can't escape it. I mean, you can. You just have to start watching something else, but you can't. It's there, So you have that choice, the taking away everything, the angry and the violent, and everybody, it's such a victim mentality over there. This is hurting me, this is wrong, I don't like it, it has to all go away because I don't land. Whatever. And then the other is helping more people with stuff they need, healthcare, and just the overall vibe is helpful, positive. They don't want to eliminate and rid whole groups and subsections of society. They see the advantage of the adversity and having everyone contribute, because not all things are one thing. Like, we're just not, a stamped out, immovable, unchangeable object. We have thoughts and feelings and all kinds of things that make for a variety, and I don't know, I just prefer the left. So which decision, which will you focus on? You want life to be hard, or do you want it to be wonderful? It's a decision for all of us voting adults to make. So the final card I pulled, well, it cracked me up before I even get started reading it, because it has a guitar on it. This deck also has another picture, and it's not a guitar. It's actually a light bulb with an old-fashioned filament in it. And it looks like a light bulb, yes, but it also looked for a moment like an upside-down guitar. I'm not going to pull the card to show you. Just take my word for it. And then I picked these up this morning and saw, oh, there is an actual guitar in that deck. So here's what the card says. Look around and find some signs. The universe is speaking to you. I can't remember now if I said this while the camera was rolling or not, but like just a few minutes ago, I was saying that, yeah, I think I was not recording. I could be wrong, but I was, oh, yeah, it wasn't. I was, fully talking to myself. Maybe? I don't know. Anyway, what the conversation is the need to quiet all the way down so that inspiration can make its way in. I know that for the past 2 days, I've been involved in something through my volunteer work that is just not wanted to go through. It's with a major known corporation, and they seem to have adopted the policy of take all of the people that can talk to other people out of the support department and make them all bots and make them all have generic, useless instructions that are all about what you probably did wrong and nothing that they ever do wrong ever. But I'll tell you, that company absorbed a bunch of money that they have a problem with it. They won't make the transaction we need to have done with the money. They won't say what's wrong with it. They have offered an alternative choice to get it back and do something else with it. But that turned out to be untrue, because when I did that, it returned nothing. It still has all of this money, and that money was intended for an emergency surgery for someone. So it's really bad. And they're like, provide more information. And then I tell them everything. And then I tell them everything that I've been repeating. Like, I'm repeating all of this long stuff that took place over 2 days. Like every dumbass, useless conversation that I had with this platform. And finally I said to my partner, listen, why don't we try one more thing, and then if that doesn't work, just walk away and leave it alone for a while. Go ahead and go to work, because we can't do anything anyway. We cannot reason with these people. They've decided to swap out the human element for bots, so you just get generic answers and sent to links that all they were about was what would happen if you did something that was wrong by their rules and standards or whatever. So it doesn't apply to my situation. So it's just, frustrating, crazy making. But it's good that we stopped, because I was just getting frustrated and I just wanted to curse them out. That's not going to help. Not help me feel better, but it's not going to help the situation. And I don't think I'm talking to actual people, and I don't think curses bother a bot, but I'm sure there's a human review somewhere along the line. And if I can work this out with this platform, I would like to still be using it, because for various reasons, it's ended up being the one that'll work for myself and my partner. But we're just gonna let it go for a while. And I really am just the employee. I'm not the brains of the operation at all. I just follow instructions. So I need to wait until they get centered and can figure out another way to approach the issue. But I just love that it's a guitar. Oh, I should say that I am a musician, like, I guess mentally, because I don't really do it anymore because the things that put me in this idiot wheelchair. Well, it's the wheelchair's not an idiot. Let's just refrain from calling stuff names here. But because of the health issue that's put me in a wheelchair, I don't do much guitar playing anymore because I kind of lost most of the function on the side that does the fretwork. So, I mean, I can, but it's like all of the years that I spent playing and also playing professionally just went down the toilet. Speaking of stuff going down the toilet, my ability to work the guitar is infrequent. I'll have really good surprising days and be like, whoa, I couldn't do that before. And days where it's like the first day you ever picked up a guitar. It's very disheartening. And I love music and I love guitars, so yeah. I don't know how that was helpful. So on to the angel cards. The first card I pulled is the first card that tried to pop out that I rejected and that just kept trying to come out and finally did. And it is the... I just saw what the subtitle is. It's the 9999 card, and the subtitle, as you can see, is Lessons Learned. Oh, it's the British way. Learnt. These are the keywords: culmination, results, benefits, reflection, completion. Interesting. So we just had a whole culmination of events that, you know, gave me results that I didn't get the benefits from, not from the transaction. Perhaps there will be other benefits that I'll receive once this whole ordeal is resolved. Reflection. That's the timeout we're on right now, I think. Hopefully, you know, my boss can come up with another way to try that'll work so that we can reach completion. The paragraph reads, take stock of your accomplishments and how you arrived at them. This is a reminder to maintain optimism and drive forward or drive toward your goals. Maintain your momentum and know that the powers of heaven have your back. You made it, and the reward goes to goes to yo. They forgot the you. Goes to yo. Goes to yo. So that's funny because I feel like it's saying what I was just saying about, we had this whole thing and then I decided maybe it's a good time to like just drop it for a while. And you know, here's a lesson learned, actually, talking about that same thing. I did tell this platform, you know, because you kind of have to anymore, that I have been, they leave the record up, so it's easy to then screenshot or film and then share to platforms. And I said, this is ridiculous. You're taking money. You're not allowing us to make this transaction, which was meant to go to medical treatment that is urgently needed. And so you keep asking me for details, and I've given them details up the yin yang. Like, I'm like, what more do you want? Tell me and I'll find the information for you. because everything they come back with is, I didn't do it. But the thing is, they were not letting the transaction go through, and they kept saying it was stopped for my protection. Well, then return the funds. Are the funds there? The funds are registering that they're there. They're saying the funds are there. You should be able to do this. And I'm like, but I can't. And for 2 days, I've been telling you this is the case. And you just keep sending me to, like, check this link and then go to the link. And it's like, you can't do this and you can't do that. And you can't. And I'm like, that has nothing to do with what I asked you. Why are you useless? And so I told them, I have this information. I will go share it to the platforms and never shut up about it, because this is wrong. I understand for businesses, it's become like quite the fad to switch out actual human operators with just putting up bots and useless information as if, yeah, shut up, just quiet down. That doesn't work, though. You're not dealing with other bots. You're dealing with actual people. So people are getting hurt here, and people are getting angry and frustrated. Like this person that's trying to donate to this child's medical treatment payments. So the lesson I learned was from my own experience with another large corporation that just did me so dirty and got their money. Like, I did the responsible thing. I did the thing that you're supposed to do, and they did nothing anymore that they're supposed to do. They do not care. The service is crap. The stuff they give you is not what they say it is. Like, it's just become all lies and bullshit. And so I learned that they no longer care if you go onto like a public platform where they have an account and then post on their account what they have not been doing that they should have been doing. They don't care anymore. So I have it all loaded up and ready to go, but I really would like to try and work it out so that this either the transaction goes through or we can recover this person's funds, because if they're not, they keep canceling the transaction, which means the money is still there. They have said the money's still there. The money shows that it's still there, but when we tried to do what they recommended and take it back, it wouldn't do that either. So it's like, hi, this is not us anymore. It actually never was us. It's always been you. Like, now you're just going to keep this money? That looks terrible. Now this child cannot have treatment because you're withholding the funds that you say you can't even do anything with anyway. So give it up. I'm waiting, though. I'm waiting till I hear back from boss. But I will never shut up about it if I'm forced to do that, because it is bad. It's a bad policy. I know that I first heard about it from landlords, and of course it was landlords because they're terrible. There was a program that came out earlier this year, and it advises people to just charge as much as possible and don't worry about if it's too much for people, because someone will pay that amount and it'll be enough for one unit to cover a whole floor of apartments, and that's bastard. I'm sorry, that's just poo-poo. Okay, moving on to the next card, intuition. I kept telling my boss, hey, either the money's funny or this place is running some kind of game. My initial thought was the money was funny, because that could also be the case. The donor is not going to tell you, you know, this money came from not the greatest means or place or whatever. It was something is triggering the site to say, we're not going to do a transaction with this. But, you know, something broke somewhere along the line where they're not, like, wanting to give back the bad transaction fund. So I don't even know what's up with that. But my intuition was that the money is funny. 111, intuition. I'm going to read the paragraph. Time to implement long-cherished ideas. Not quite yet. I haven't been, well, I've had the idea for a long time to wield in these situations. I don't know about cherish, since they don't really work much anymore. You know, when companies decide to remove the human element to talk to their clients and customers and then replace them with a bot that has no emotions and can't be reasoned with, that is fucked up from the top. But I still have my idea waiting to be implemented, at the very least, because even if they won't do anything, everybody else that's on those sites can see, oh, this happened? Oh, that's messed up. Ooh, maybe I won't give those people my business. And that is the goal, because if you're going to just be like arbitrarily removing people of their money, relieving them of their money, that is wrong. Nobody wants that. That is not like, is that going to be the new business model? Like in the Trump era? Like, I don't think he's even going to become president, but he's already, like, people are acting like he is and acting as if it's okay to keep being terrible the way he is and encourages. It's a weird thing. What used to be the right thing, or what used to be the wrong thing, is now all of a sudden like the cool thing. For some reason, I don't know, like, how that got flipped with people, especially people that claim to be Christians and Christian nationalists, and they're supposed to be like the moral leaders, and it's like, really? You need to take a look at yourself. My goodness. Okay, you're on the right track toward making your dreams and visions a reality. The right people, circumstances, and resources are being sent your way. Well, thank goodness, because I want to do the right thing with this transaction for this person. Like, even if the money's funny, it's making a total clustercluck of this. But I mean, a lot of people pay for stuff that's needed with ill-gotten gains. Unfortunately, that's another thing that's just moral and okay in the world anymore. We live in a weird time right now, okay? Happiness and new opportunities are at hand. Trust in the process. So, again, just gonna wait and see, because that was also my intuition. Let's just stop and wait for a better idea to come along. I'm gonna read the keywords: moderation, patience, flow, clarity, joy. Well, I'll be joyful if this works out for this kid. Movement, self-realization, taking actions, unconditional love. Well, I mean, there's love here, but there's conditions. So they're kind of unrelated to each other in this instance. Final card, 0606. Commitment. Loyalty, responsibility, truth. I feel like loyalty doesn't get you the same responsibility from a company. You can pay them for 20 years and have one little hiccup and tell them about the hiccup, immediately begin trying to repair the damage of one bill not getting paid, but they don't even wait. They don't even give you a chance to collect yourself, and like nothing ever happens to companies or the people that work at them to, throw a hiccup into their life. Like, they just don't have an understanding. I guess they all have the mentality of bots now, just emotionless, and I'm not taking responsibility for that. Like, you just lose. Really? Because if that's the way you want to go, that's going to lead to other consequences that probably are not going to work out well for that type of mentality. Truth, love, light, spiritual realm. I don't know if they're compatible, to be honest. Like, business and spiritual realms of love, light, and truth. They want no regulation, so they can be free to cut corners and poison us, basically, and make a bad product. They want to just continue with the shrinkflation, which, it's even gone to trash bags. Like, even those, like, that is, you don't want to make those thinner, you a-holes that don't hold the trash in if something's pointy at all inside the bag. Or if you just bump into it, it just breaks open. It's like, it's such a shitty way to treat your client base. And all you care about is like just intaking more money, and you don't want to be responsible for the cuts causing problems. That's a terrible business model. But it's all been turned around, like terrible is good, good is crap. Makes no sense, because not everybody's with that. Not everybody's rolling that way. Growth, solutions. I mean, yeah, eventually that's kind of how the wheel turns, but meanwhile, needful things are waiting to have happen. It's I don't know. It's not good. Applying honesty and light daily is a fast track to creating a peaceful and meaningful life. Okay, and that, again, life can be hard and life can be wonderful. Which will you focus on? Trying to focus on the light here. Help me out, businesses, because it doesn't not hurt you. It doesn't not help you. Selfishness and greed are just, you add them to humans, and avarice, and you just got a terrible stew, a real stinker. Applying honesty and light daily is a fast track to creating a peaceful and meaningful life, which most of us want. It doesn't have to be at the expense of other people, though. We gotta drop that mindset. We don't need to prey upon each other. There's plenty in the world. All we gotta do is like unclench our sphincters and let each other at it. Jeez. Release your worries. Relax that sphincter. Release worries by speaking your truth and expressing emotions regularly. Open up, for the best is yet to come. That only works if there's listening ears on the other side of what you're truthfully and responsibly saying. And I know this is not new to all of us. We've all probably run into this kind of obstinacy with corporations, and unfortunately they are so enmeshed in our lives. It's like, you can't get away from them almost, like off the grid. You practically have to go off planet. It's ridiculous. So again, we have work to do, because I don't know about you, I don't want to live in that universe. I don't want to live in that world where it's just carnivorous. It's ridiculous. We're not, if we're so smart like the cowboy or like the sheriff said, then let's find those smarts and act like we have them, act upon them. I guess I'm just a little irritable about the whole thing. I did wake up to it. Like, that was the first thing I opened up my eyes. It was like, oh my God, this is still going on. Day 3 of intractable company holding money that ain't really theirs. Like, if the money was funny, give it the F back. That's all I'm saying. Because this, it's not frivolous. It's not nothing. It's certainly more important than why ever you're holding back unnamed platform that I'm not happy with right now. The benefit of dropping that and going away from it is because you get to remember, like, oh, everything is not terrible. There are still good things, and, it helps when you get, like, as verklempt as I can get about these types of situations. Luckily, I know now to just drop it, if possible, and reset, clear the area. All right, I've said enough. Did I get into an hour? Yay, I did not. Thank you and good night.